So in this video, I just have one question that I want you to answer for yourself. How hard do you have to work in order to earn what you feel you are valued? So, how hard do you have to work in order to earn what you feel you are valued? And I don't need to know the answer to that. I'm curious about what the answers might be, and there probably are a wide variety of different answers. I mean, some people might not have feel any value about themselves. So, I mean, it doesn't matter how hard they work. Other people might say, "Oh man, I'm worth so much. I got to work. I got to work 24 hours a day to get what I feel like I'm valued at." And my point is that regardless of whatever answer that you come up with, it will be based on my guess. My guess is it will be based on how much time you have to trade to get what you were valued. And it really isn't a trick question. I think it's basically, if you look at it and you're kind of aware of it, it's the way that we're taught to think. We're taught to think that if you don't work hard, you're not going to earn the reward. You know what I mean? Like, the reward is getting what it is that you want in life. And if you don't work hard, okay? So, like, you got to work hard at school. If you go to trade school, you got to work hard at that. If you go do a regular job, you got to work hard at that. and and I would suggest that even when we work hard, things happen that in life that create obstacles that make it so that no matter how hard we work, we don't always get what we want, right? So, what's the point? Well, the point is that life is structured in such a way that we've been taught that if we don't work, you don't make any money, and you don't make any money, then you shouldn't eat. You know what I mean? Like, some of that is like probably some biblical teaching we've been taught. Like, um, all your value is based on how much time you're spending working hard. So anyway, what is my point? My point is that I'd like to help you have a different perspective on ways that you could earn value, that you can earn besides just trading your time for whatever you're earning. You know what I mean? Like for instance, if you wanted to create a passive residual income, um, the easiest way that I can think of is if you started off with a whole bunch of money. Like, if you had a whole bunch of money, you could buy, how many, I don't know how many shares of like Pepsi stock or Coca-Cola stock or some other stock that pays out a dividend, which is a portion of the profits to the shareholders each and every quarter. And it's based on how many shares you hold. I mean, you could have just a couple hundred shares and you're not going to make that much. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it'd be very little. Be very little, and not enough to live on from that type of passive residual income. But now, if you had millions and millions of dollars invested in a stock that pays dividends, I would venture to guess that, of all those shares that you owned, there's a good chance that you're gonna earn a pretty good passive residual income from that. A lot better than you would get unless if you had a savings account or something. Hmm. But what if you're somebody like me, and maybe somebody like you? I don't know. But let's say you didn't have a lot of savings. Let's say you hadn't prepared for your later years. What if you are grinding it out right now because you don't have another way to make any money? Um, what can you do except keep grinding it out? I used to joke around that I wasn't going to ever retire because, well, first of all, I wasn't going to be able to afford to, and I would probably just work until the day I died. And some people do. Some people just work and work and work and work, even, even into their later years. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. The conflict is in whether or not that's really your desire. Are you really doing it because it's what you want to do, you love to do it, or you do it because you have to do it? See, when we do things like that because we have to, it's not as much fun, There's not as much satisfaction in that. Now, I've read some comments from people who think it's a blessing to be able to work, and I don't dispute that. It's just that I would like to choose what kind of work I'm doing. You know what I mean? And where I'm doing it, and with who I'm doing it with. And when you're grinding and working hard because you have to, you're not really in control of that. You know what I mean? So anyway, so I want to introduce you to the idea that you can create a passive residual income with a low cost of entry and a low risk. As a matter of fact, in the system that I've tapped into, if you're not in profit mode in 90 days, then they're going to continue your costs. They're going to cover your costs, but they're going to continue working to get you into profit mode. So, I mean, I don't know of any other platform or any other system that would, give you an assurance that, hey, we're gonna do everything we can to make sure you're in profit mode, and if you're not gonna keep paying us. Come on, man. There's no other better opportunity than that. So, if you really want to know more about it, you need to check out the link in the comments, in the pinned comment, or in the description of this video. And sure, I could tell you more about it, and I could go into more details, but I really would like for you to just check it out and, make a decision on your own, whether or not it's something that you even want to take a look at. Or if you decide you just want to keep trading your time for money and work until the day you die, well, that's your choice, and I wish you the best of luck. But for my desires, I want to find a way that will give me not only satisfaction, but also the opportunity to make choices about how I'm living my life, rather than having to choose what I have to do rather than what I want to do. All right, so that's all I got for this video, and see you in the next one.